In 3, 2, 1. And hello, and welcome back to That Karate Podcast. I'm Liam Gallagher.
I'm Sean McLaren.
And Mark Slattery is skiving. All right, he's decided not to show up today. Doesn't love us anymore. He's not doing it anymore. He's got more important things.
That's not true. He's a busy man.
He's got a life or something. He's got some sort of... So we're needing a new host. He's fired. Not enough. That's it. He's ditched. It's ditched. I'm going on Tinder to get a new host.
And Tinder?
Is it on Tinder you find it? All right, okay. Maybe I'll get rid of that app off my phone. Right. How are you doing? How you doing, mate? How's things? How are you?
I was good until you started like that. Yeah, all good. All good. Keeping busy and club's busy and kind of back to normal. Schools are back next week, so restrictions have been lifted. We're almost pretty much back to full swing pre-COVID. So all good. What about yourself?
Pretty much the same, mate. We're still kind of battling a couple of venues to get in the door, but we're doing all right. Our numbers have bounced back. We're actually over where we were before COVID.
Nice.
Which I think it's a fake number. I don't think it'll last forever. But it's been done pretty well, to be honest. We've kind of bounced back. It's been, obviously we've just hit the kind of beyond tier zero, whatever the hell that means. That's such a beyond tier zero.
Where no man has been before.
Well,
you know.
But yeah, so that's we're kind of, obviously we're still being careful. I've kept most of my kind of COVID compliance stuff in place. My temp check, my fogging down the children as they come in and disinfecting them with a brush. I've kept that all good. Maybe a child protection issue, but at least we'll not get COVID. But yeah, we've kind of still got that stuff going, still booking classes, etc. You kind of the same?
Yeah, I still do. I don't have a temperature. I just did handheld temperature, but I'm still doing them as they come in. Booking system, I'm still keeping it. I think I'll keep it forever, to be honest. Just it's handy to know who's coming to class, how many's coming to class. Kind of helps you a class plan, in my opinion. Plus, it helps kind of tracking attendance as well. You know, if they're already booked in for gradings or just kind of seeing how many classes they've attended and what classes they've attended, and kind of helping adjust. It's helped me adjust my schedule as well for some classes, having kind of knowing who's coming and stuff. So yeah, everyone's kind of same, still sanitising at doors, and all my venues are back. So we've been back for a wee while now, all venues, thankfully. So
I find my classes are up and down like this just now because because they're not able to go away, they're kind of taking 5 days here, 5 days there, 4 days here, 3 days here, and they're like, the class is like, it's busy. Yeah, we're back to it next week. What the hell happened? And obviously, the same. There's still some people having to isolate stuff. I was getting calls today. People are getting pinged and having to isolate and stuff. So some of that's still going on. So that's going to just need to deal with that for the foreseeable. That's going to keep ticking. But it's a damn sight better than it was a few months ago when we started this.
For sure, it was good to have parents back in as well. You know, that's the first time I've had parents. So I'm saying yourself, my numbers have grown drastically since we kind of came out of lockdown, and a lot of my parents have never seen their kids do karate because of that reason. You know, so having them coming in and seeing what it's like it's been good.
It's the same. Also, we've got some new members in, and because they've done it, they don't know what they're paying for.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, so they don't really. I'm not sure them coming in and finding out what they're actually paying for is a good thing, but they're actually coming in and be able to sit. We don't let many in for obvious reasons, but be able to come in and sit and actually see how the classes run. We got a nice compliment the other day just regarding how the discipline of the class and how we teach it and make it fun for the parents. And this parent had never been in the dojo to actually watch a class. She just decided she was going to give it a go. But there's a few parents I was saying last week, right, guys, because I went to the car park, we're going, right, let's guys. You're in next week, you're able to come in, you know, but you'll need to do your check-in through here and I still want your temp check and hand sanitising face. Give them the full spiel. And the parents were going, all right. because they've been able to, for the last year, just chuck them in the door and run. Exactly. So I'm like, no, that sounds like you can come back in there. And they're like, all right, okay, thanks for that. Appreciate that. As they beat the hell out of Dodge, they're just the feet as they run at the car park.
Yeah, no, I'm the exact same as. I enjoy having parents in because, as you say, we're not kind of closed door kind of club. We want parents to see and watch their kid train and see what, as you say, what they're paying for and how much their kid enjoys the classes. So, you know, yeah, it's all good. And all I'm hearing from, I'm talking to other instructors and other clubs and other sports, and everybody's back and everybody's buzzing. It's good to hear kids joining clubs, whether it's karate or not. It's just, it seems a lot of kids are getting more active now coming out of lockdown, which is
nice. I actually have missed it.
Yeah.
It's. I hope that this situation will make people take their fitness, their health less for granted.
Yes.
I think I really hope that going forward that like you go to a sports club is like something you do every week, whether you go to the gym or you go to, because your health and well-being is what will save your life. You know, because I know it's a bit. So I just hope that becomes a part of the United Kingdom's kind of ethos stepping forward.
Yeah,
but yeah, I think you're right.
Even from a kind of social aspect as well, I've had a lot of parents saying, "Oh, it's just been great. The kids have been able to meet friends again." You know, obviously as restrictions were easing, they were allowed to meet friends, go to the park, and go to groups and stuff, but. And now, especially during summer holidays, also not at school or not at nursery as much together, and so they get to see each other a bit more, which is obviously good for the mental health, being a bit more social with their friends and stuff, which is, as you say, is mental health and physical health.
Well, yeah, I'm seeing the kids start to come back now. We talked about this months ago on one of our podcasts. You could see the kids were quite withdrawn.
Yeah.
And you can see how they kind of, not overstate it, but the kind of psychological damage of the situation I'd kind of worn on them a little, and I'm not seeing that now. There's still, I think there's a few families, a few kids, maybe still there's a bit of a hangover there.
Yeah.
But you know, we're slowly getting back to it, which is great.
Totally agree. Good. So good.
There's competitions coming up. Our guys are down. Oh, you're down as well, aren't you? We're heading down to a comp and
team-handed.
Square go in England.
Yeah, first comp up, ready to go.
First comp, I'll just get slaughtered. I'll just be taking out feet first. I don't think I remember how to do a kata. But yeah, so that's, but this competition starting to fire up. I've seen a few kind of getting rushed, put together quite quick. But yeah, it's good to see the kind of schedule coming back.
The clashing of events. I said to my wife last week, you know, we're back to, we know you're back when events start clashing, and you've got this on one day and this the other day, and you're juggling your weekends now with the karate.
Yeah, the next 3 weeks, next 3 weekends, I'm like, when my missus is like, what's going on? I'm like,
we're back.
Our social life is destroyed.
Yes.
Really, after 18 months of this, you're sick of looking at me.
Exactly. I was like, why do you want a Sunday off? Come on.
Well, I've got a new hobby on a Sunday morning, so I need to
do what? Sorry,
I've got a new hobby on a Sunday morning.
Hobby, right?
What I said. I'm doing idol on a Sunday morning. I'm Japanese swordsmanship.
And you're enjoying that, aren't you? You love it, yeah.
Oh, I'm loving it. Absolutely loving it. I'm such a geek. It was that or golf. It was either a golf club or a katana, and I went, do you know what? I'm loving it. So but the only class I could make because my teaching schedule is a Sunday morning.
Yes.
So, but I absolutely love it. It's great fun. I've got all the kit, Ki, Hakama, Yaito, the works, all the gear. No idea. My poor sensei, you can see him going, karate guys, because because obviously you've been training for a long time, so there's a certain muscle memory that's there. So I'm trying to put Kimi at the end of the sword. It's like, what are you doing? And I'm like, because there's just a wee bang at the end of this. He's like, you don't need it, it's sharp. What are you doing? And I'm like, sorry, my bad. So but I'm loving it, absolutely loving it. So I've started that as well. That's me taking the midlife crisis to the nth degree now. So that's me.
That sounds good. It sounds like he's just thinking, he's watched this on YouTube, isn't he? I've seen that.
I think I am a tube. I don't think he necessarily. But it's good, he'll say things like mine. I go hit forwards. I know this one. Yoko to the side.
Wrong side.
Going backwards. I'm all over it.
That sounds good. It sounds interesting.
It's good fun. It's good fun. Not karate related in the karate podcast, but that's what I've got Sunday mornings going on now. So You know, with the competition season coming back up, I'm like, but my stabby stuff. What am I supposed to do?
My stabby stuff. That's brilliant.
So the Olympics. Well, let's get to it. The Olympics last weekend. Wow, there's been quite a bit of fallout from it, hasn't there?
Yes.
Facebook has been its usual calm, calculated, respectful self discussing the Olympics. God almighty. What did you make of it?
First of all, I was off last week. Coincidentally, I was off.
Coincidentally, I'm half wins.
Yeah, so I got to watch all of it. I wasn't up at 2:00 in the morning, to be honest. I waited until 7:00 when my daughter woke me up, and I caught up then. But it was just good, you know. Watching 6 hours of karate a day. What else do you want to do with your weekend, you know? So it was great. It was good to see karate or kind of martial art or sport at the top level. And to be honest, I think they delivered. I think all the fights, watching it, I was super impressed with the fighting. I was really impressed with the judges' decisions. The VAR was something that the video, I mean, it was something that I really enjoyed, and it came at any kind of crucial points for a lot of fighters anyway. And the commentating was great. It was something that they didn't have commentating the qualifiers for the Olympics, so it was kind of a bit flat almost. But with the actual Olympics commentating, and if you never watched karate before and never understood how it was, then they explained it from top to bottom every match, what the warnings were, what the points were scoring, what the equipment they were wearing, why they were wearing, the kind of hand signals from judges and referees. It was well done with the commentators, and I enjoyed it and really enjoyed watching it.
Yeah, I enjoyed it too. I thought there was some negatives of it as well, to be honest. But when you consider there was their first blast into it, and they had their legs cut out before they even started.
Yeah,
you know, and they were when they were kind of told, "It's great you're in, but you're out for the next one because parkour's in next." There was maybe a bit of swearing in my house when I heard that one, but. Yeah, it was. I thought it was great. I mean, I agree. I thought the female fights, were of a higher technical standard. I thought they were much better and more aggressive.
I think more aggressive is what the word I was probably used for. The less sitting back, they were definitely going for it. There was quite a few tasty fights. I enjoyed it.
Yeah. But I know there's a lot of negativity from the kind of traditionalists and the Shubwagpon people were dead against it. But I'll be honest, I get a little frustrated hearing that. I get that we all come from different. I don't. But we all love karate, right? Regardless what badge you wear, what association you're in, your federation you're in, we're all geeks, right? We all love karate. And everybody thinks they're right, and everyone thinks their way's the way. Yes. But I just didn't understand why people didn't just go, do you know what, let's support it for 3 days. Let's just say, yeah, it was pretty good, or yeah, it was all right, or some of the stuff I've read since is crackers. The last fight didn't help.
I'm just trying to find it on the now. I try to find it on so the viewers can see if they're watching. I can't seem to just get a clip of only the knockout. The last fight, for those that don't know, was against Ganzadeh from Iran and from Hamedi from Saudi Arabia, and it ended pretty spectacularly, to be honest. I enjoyed it because one of my students messaged and said, "Did you watch the last fight there?" And I was like, "No, I'm not. I'm catching up." And he's like, "Okay, I'll keep quiet." And then I messaged him when it happened. I was like, "Ooh." In my opinion, I don't know what you think, but in my opinion, I think it was just a bit unfair on the Saudi Arabian, because throughout the qualifying bouts, the semi-final, he looked very, very convincing. His kicks were unbelievable. He was super fast. So I was looking forward to seeing the fight, because the final was the Iranian was a heavier gentleman, so it would have been good to kind of see how they would have versed against each other. But unfortunately, he was leaning to the side and he caught a kick to the head and he was out.
For me, it was a Mabobi. And by the way, people anywhere else, that term in Scotland is quite awkward. If you're Scottish, you understand. Anybody's had a refereeing course, or it's really difficult. If you say this in refereeing courses, or maybe for an English organisation and Scottish people down, and you do a refereeing course and you say that particular phrase, they'll be chuckling and I'm not going to explain it, but it's it's a bit awkward. It's a kind of Scottish term. Um,
No, I agree.
but for me, the referees, I think, follow the rule of the law.
Yeah.
Right. Well, I think they kind of they followed what was meant to happen. But for me as the athlete, I couldn't have. If that happened to me, I wouldn't have taken the medal.
It's
Honestly,
hard
if that had happened to me, whether what it said in the scoreboard or not, I'd have given the medal to the other athlete. I absolutely 100% would have done that.
I agree.
That's my honest opinion. I mean, you can't make people do that. You can't make people see that sort of thing.
Yeah.
I don't know the political ramifications between those two countries. I think there's a bit of a political issue there, but I think you'd get much more respect for that than taking it. That's my personal opinion. He stuck his head in it. He stuck his head in it. I've had it happen to me when I've kicked somebody and they've stuck their head in it, and you're like, "Oh, I think I've killed him."
I don't think it was on purpose. I don't think he purposely put his head in it. It was just obviously the way he was.
No, but right. So here's the arguments I'm hearing, and because the danger of injury in sport karate is next to zero, you'll see a lot of the fighters. It's not zero, of course, but it's much. Shobo Ippon, maybe the tournaments, you and I, people get literally carried off in stretchers. Like, need a new stretcher, please. But then there's not that fear. So their hands are down, they're leaning in, they're doing it. So they're taking gambles that you wouldn't take in any other rule set.
Yeah.
So you wouldn't see that in MMA. You wouldn't see that in Shobo Ippon. You would because you'll get punished for it. You'll get you know.
No, absolutely.
So I think that's kind of bred that incident. To be honest, in my opinion. But what do you make of the kata? Moving on to the other discipline, how do you think that came across?
Yeah, it was all right.
Sean's not a kata.
I know, like enough kata to teach my guys.
Wow, don't let your students hear that.
I'm joking, obviously.
I know 5 katas. I can get you to purple belt.
No, to be honest, I thought the female final was great. I thought Sandra Sanchez is an incredible athlete. What is she, 39, is that right? And to be told before that she's too old for the Olympics. Can
I say this? I every time I heard, you were talking about the commentators, they kept saying, and also the BBC, well, not the BBC, don't talk to me about the BBC, don't get me started on the BBC. When you heard people talk about it, 39 was being talked about like it was a terminal disease. She's 39, and I'm like, well, if she's in the way out, I'm as well getting the box sorted now. She's 39. And what? She's an absolute machine.
Yeah. Have you ever seen any of the training videos?
She's a monster.
Yeah, she is. No, I enjoyed it. I enjoyed and I obviously respect kata. I don't know any kata from that style, but obviously you can respect it for the kind of speed, technique, and kind of sharpness of the movement. I thought the men's final was going to be a little bit closer, to be honest, with Damien and Rio, but it was nice. It was good. But
my argument always is about the lack of Shotokan.
Yeah, I was just going to lead you onto that. I was going to.
Sorry, I've jumped you lead in there. That's the bit that gives me the twitch. Because it's an all styles event, and there weren't any like real like. There was a couple of Shotokan. There was a Shotokan kata in it. But that's not the same as having a Shotokan stylist. There's people who do kata for competition and they'll learn 6 katas, 7 katas, and they'll mix it from different styles. Right, okay. That's not the same as having a Shotokan stylist. Same part. So yeah, Daisamoto, Koji, etc. These kind of people never get a look at. Never, and I don't understand. And there's other athletes across the world who battled it out. I'm a little confused how, with there being so many Shotokan karateka across the world, when it came to the Olympics, it was so badly underrepresented.
Yeah.
Now you can't. I'm not saying the Jitaru and the Ruru styles are not fantastic and their katas are not great. I'm not saying that, but you can't tell me there's nobody in the world who's Unsu or Goju-Shosho or Kankusho or Soshi or whatever isn't on the same par. You can't possibly tell me that our style is just not good enough to be at the Olympics.
So why did they not qualify then?
I think my honest opinion I don't think it's a bias. I think I heard people say there's a kind of inherent bias. I don't think it is. I think the rule set doesn't work for us as Shotokan stylists.
Okay.
I think that with the shorter and sharper movements, Michitaru, I don't think obviously Shotokan's longer, but adversely the katas are shorter.
Yeah.
I think that it just doesn't give us a look in. Now people saying on my Facebook, because I like to open my mouth and put both feet in. Just like to, I don't do it to annoy people. I just speak and words come out.
Yes, you do.
And people accidentally upset me. And people were saying, but it's in cycles, and Shotokan was dominant before, and now it's different. And I get that, but the Olympics, come on, surely we could have done better there. I'm not. So if you'd asked me on both finals who would have been in the final, I would have said those 4 people.
Yeah, I think that was.
So there was no surprises there for me. And I could have probably picked the katas we're going to do as well. Which is that right? Do you know what I mean? That there's this kind of. I think it's an introduction to the world. They did a good job.
Yeah, I agree. And do you know what I enjoyed about mainly watching when they were going in? I think it was the semi-final and the final. They both done the same katas. Is that right?
Yes.
So it was good, obviously, from a non-karate point of view, as a comparison to see, because obviously if you don't do karate before and you're watching and wondering why they're waving.
I disagree. Can I tell you why I disagree? If you're a non-karate person, you don't have the eye. Okay, all you've seen is 2 people do the exact same thing, and then somebody got flagged, and you're like, I don't see a difference because you're not educated in the sport.
Yeah.
Then you don't know what you're talking about. So.
Like me.
No, but so if you don't understand what they're doing, then you don't understand why they won. If you got 2 people up and you go, that kata is better than that kata, as in the different. So say somebody did Nunsu and somebody did Anandai or whatever, and you went, right, the person that did Anandai was just better, just sharper and cleaner and crisper. I can see that. Do you know what I mean? Oh wow, that jump was amazing. Look at that. Good grief.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? So that I know what you're saying, but I think the opposite from that. I also think we were badly covered. Like
I agree. I've seen loads of I've seen loads of very poorly comments regarding the BBC, and I never seen any BBC. I was on Discovery Plus, and I think it was covered by the Eurosport. I know they were pretty derogatory in terms of explaining kata. Was it some of the comments regarding kata with BBC commentators? So I said I never heard that because I was on Discovery Plus app. So, but I think part of the problem with that was also there was no JB competitors, so they weren't covering it at all. One of my students came up to us last night and he's like, I was watching the Olympics and he said they were going to cover the karate, so I waited for a couple of hours for it to come on, and it was just a highlight of 2 minutes. He waited 2-3 hours for it to come on, and it was just, this is what happened today, and that was it. So it was a bit kind of gutted. Obviously he sat for a few hours and there was no dedicated channel for each sport, I think, as well. I think it was more just kind of here's what's on. Whereas I think when the London Olympics on, I think every sport was well represented in the Olympics because it had a separate button, I think, for each sport.
Yeah, but the difference, one, you're quite right. There was no Team GB inclusion in it, so the BBC aren't going to spend money on a sport that we don't have an athlete in. So I get that. What I didn't, there should be more made of it, in my opinion. Right, so I watched the Taekwondo, right, and I'm sorry, Taekwondo people. It's awful. You need to sort that out. You need to sort that. You're not doing your. You're not. I'm sorry. I know. Like people, like who you think you're talking to. It's awful. I have not. Tell me I'm wrong. I haven't. Even Taekwondo people have messaged me and went, "We don't do that. That's not what we do." What is that?
Yes.
There was a guy grabbing somebody and trying to crescent kick the back of somebody's head, and I'm like, "What the hell are you doing, dude?"
Yeah.
Great. And it's not that they're bad athletes, they're great athletes and they've got good form, but they seem to go on the mats and even the referees were amateur. It was just, for me, karate, when you looked at it, you had your 4 corner judges, your centre ref who was obviously in charge. To their credit, like all the athletes, if the ref said it, they bowed, they took their warnings, they took their points. There was no back chat, no nonsense, no break of etiquette. Some of the etiquette, in my opinion, could be a little better from some of the athletes, but that is a sport issue, and that's coming from an old fart like me, a traditionalist like me. But
no, I agree with that.
But the taekwondo, I mean, you can't tell me putting them side to side. You can't tell me that karate is not more entertaining, regardless whether you're Shobo Whippon or Kyokushinkai or MMA, whatever. You can't tell me that that's not better.
Yeah, no, I to be honest, I can't comment much on the taekwondo. I watched maybe 2 minutes of it and then turned it off. To be fair, I just know.
Why did you turn it off? Was it entertaining?
No.
Did you enjoy watching it?
No.
Absolutely.
I didn't understand it. I think their rule set is a little bit different, and it promotes fighting, so that they're just waiting for a point or two. But I teach in Kelvin Hall, and on any given night, there's like 3 or 4 martial arts band to court side by side. You know, there's myself, karate, taekwondo, and Krav Maga, and then the Krav Maga is replaced by Aikido. But the taekwondo beside me, and we kind of obviously got chatting. He's like, "You're looking forward to karate in the Olympics?" And I was like, "Yeah, I'm really excited." And he's like, "We're not, like, we don't enjoy it at all. They kind of changed the rule set, and it's not 99% of taekwondo people don't enjoy it." And I guess it's the exact same as traditional martial artists as it is traditional karate guys as it is traditional taekwondo guys. They just don't, it doesn't affiliate it to that, you know. But again, it's just I found the karate very enjoyable. I honestly just sat watching it on my TV and I thought it was great. It was awesome.
And I mean, I enjoyed it as well. So I mean, I was my other half of their girls up for down south, and the poor girl, they came up to visit, and the poor lassies were like had to sit through 4 hours worth of karate with me shouting. I'm doing hand gestures off the couch. Just me does that.
No.
I'm like, no, did you do it too? You're like, oh, you're doing the whole, and they're like, is he okay? Is he having some sort of fit?
Yeah. My wife was in cooking dinner, and I'm watching the karate, and I go, oof, oh. And she's like, you all right? I was like, yes. I was like, oh, come here, look, come and see this. She's like, it's burning, just come and see this kit, come. It was nice. It was good to see, and I was super impressed by a lot. There's quite a few names on there that I wasn't familiar with. Obviously, you had your big names like Luigi Busa and Stanislav Haruna and Angelique Tully, but I was more impressed with the people I didn't know, to be honest. I don't mean that in any disregard. You know, obviously, top 3 the under 75 was Rafael Aguivi, Luigi Busa, and Stanislav Haruna. You know, but I just was more impressed with the people I wasn't. The people who qualified just to win it. Sorry?
I wanted Agiev to win it.
It's almost like a fairy tale story, though, wouldn't it have been?
I wanted Agiev to win it just because he's Shotokan and 2 is no fart. So
I know.
No, but he's the kind of built. They basically changed. He's such an impressive fighter that they had to change the rules to stop him dominating.
Yeah.
If that's not a compliment. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? So
he's been about for so long. You know, he's been about for so long.
I mean, it's amazing getting an Olympic medal out, and that's fantastic. But they've been the one of the females that won the last year beat Angelica Tulegic.
The Bulgarian girl.
She was fantastic.
Yeah, Yvette
absolutely bossed
Koronova.
She was absolutely bossed it. She was so aggressive and hard hitting and driving. You know, she struck me. She reminded me of kind of old school Shotokan, to be honest, because she was just kind of driving in and just no fear, just boom straight in you go.
Yeah, she was a little bit smaller as well, wasn't she? So, because there was somebody, I don't know if it was my wife or one of my students commented on kind of how some of the differences, some of them look there was a big difference in kind of height or weight with some of them. And I explained to them that the kind of some of the categories were merged in terms of weight category, because there was only three weight categories for female and 3 weight categories for men. So, for example, the men's is usually under 75, over 75, and over 84, whereas they just got rid of the over 84, so it was plus 75 kind of thing, you know.
Yeah.
So there was obviously some of them.
I used to love tournaments like
that. Yes.
We've scrapped the heavyweight. Oh man. Oh, I wish I'd dieted.
Yeah. When we joined the JKS and started doing more kind of kind of WKF style came in, and when it was splitting the weight categories, I was like, yay, finally.
Because the categories used to be brown belt and above.
16 and above, brown belts and above.
That was it.
Yeah.
That's that's so if you're 16, you get your butt kicked.
There's actually
and if you're 42, you're getting your butt kicked.
I know. But that's kind of what I am in now, though. I'm kind of caught. I was coming away from the Olympics, but I've just done 30. But I've got another 5 years before I need to get into the veteran section. But there's 12 years gap between the youngest competitor to me. Do you know what I mean? So that's
so 35. I'm 47 now, so 12 years. So these guys are coming up right from the senior section.
Yeah, it's quite funny.
And I've got my Zimmer at the side.
Liam Gallagher.
Just getting pushed on the mat. Other way. Oh, sorry.
You'll finish the wrong way now.
I was going to finish last year, but obviously, like, COVID scuppered that, and I can't.
No, you need to.
Can't go out on that.
Yeah, no.
Although we've got this competition next month, I'll go out and I'll maybe go, yeah, maybe it's time.
When are you introducing a Masters section?
A Grandmaster section, a Grandfather section, maybe like.
Yes. No, can I circle back to Olympics? I think I seen a post today on Facebook that they're doing serious consideration to add it back into the Olympics for 2028 in Los Angeles. So
they're asking. There's no doubt about it. There's certain issues.
Yeah.
Right. And the Olympic, you don't know who's right and who's wrong. Okay, but there's certain. Again, I wade into conversations. I really shouldn't. I'll get myself into trouble. I don't have an issue with anybody's organisation. I don't care. You do your thing. I do my thing. The decisions I've made are based around what I want to do with my karate at this particular moment in time. And it's not. I do other things. I train with other people. I do applied karate stuff. I was down being tortured by Alistair Mitchell Sensei the weekend. I come and visit Sensei. Great. Rolling down the stairs afterwards. Brilliant session. But so I'm a bit tired of all the politics and it's like football teams. Every supports a different team, and you can't see the other team's point of view because you're a traitor to the cause. Oh, give it a break. But is it going to get back in? I don't know. I would like to see it get back in, but I think there'll need to be adjustments made before they'll let it back in. There's a lot of comment about inclusion, so there's a lot of people that don't get access to it because they're not in the correct federation.
Yeah, I've seen that. I've seen it a lot on Facebook. To be fair, and
there's two sides to this coin, in my opinion. And one of them is, if you want to go there, you join that federation. If that's what you want to do, that's what you want to do.
Yeah.
And that's the direction you go. But people want to do it, but don't want to change their federation. And I'm like, I'll be honest, I get it. They want their cake and eat it is what they want.
Yeah.
They want the access, they want to be able to do that stuff, they want to have access to that kind of thing and have the kind of kudos that goes with that. But they don't actually want to actually affiliate and go through the proper channels.
Yeah.
I'm a bit square. I go through proper channels.
I will say we've obviously had this conversation on the podcast previous. I think it's important to go through proper channels for more than just wanting to get to competitions, obviously for kind of safety and making sure everything else is right. I think that's important. But yeah, I've seen lots on Facebook, to be fair, and I've seen lots of good arguments from both sides. I just think, as you say, it's almost like a football team, but I think everybody needs to kind of come together for it to be, because the whole point of the Olympics is it's for everybody, you know.
It's for the elite, right? It's for the elite.
Mm-hmm.
It's not for everybody, right? So, like, I was never going to the Olympics, right? Like, at any point in my career was I going to the Olympics, maybe carrying somebody's bag, right? But at no point I'm not saying I'm bad, right?
You just happen to be in Tokyo at the same time.
I just happen to be there, right? But I'm not saying I'm not. I've obviously got a reasonable skill level. Okay, I mean that's not. But I'm not at shut up. As long as I believe it doesn't matter, mate. All right.
So,
I've seen your cat, so I'd be very quiet. So
that's why I had nothing to say in the cat point. I just kept it shushed.
But I was never going to be. I can't compete at that level.
No,
I can't. So it's the Champions League. Some people go to the Champions League and some Europa League. Do you know what I mean?
Do you think that was because it was the actual qualifying system this time for the Olympics was different? Because obviously, when it's a permanent sport, but it's not done in rankings. Whereas obviously this time it was kind of done on the WKF World Rankings, and then there was also the qualifiers in Paris in June. Whereas obviously, usually there would have been a representative from all the Olympic countries, you know. So yes. I think once it becomes a permanent sport, I think obviously it will still remain elite. Obviously, I don't think Joe Bloggs should be going along to the Olympics, but well, to be fair, like, so some of the karate medals that were won were that country's first ever Olympic medals. I'm not sure one of them, as I try to see, was I can't remember now. I don't know who I was talking to. It was again, it was one of my students this week. It was
your students from the New
they were they were pretty interesting. It was good to see, to be honest. Obviously, to see your own club kind of interested in watching the top level, and even a couple of my younger members, the parents stuck it on for them and said, "This is kind of what it looks like. This is kind of top level and stuff." I think it was I think that the conversation I had actually was that plus 75 kilogram final, that if the Saudi Arabian did win, it would be their first ever Olympic medal ever. And I know some of the kata as well. I think the female kata medals. So it was good to see that. But as you say, it is for the elite, and I do agree with that. I don't think me or you should go along just because we get to go along.
I agree. I mean, but I've got a filter on, mate.
Did you say?
I'm actually just a skeleton. Yeah, but as you say, for the first outing, it's a poor way to judge it, because as you said, it's the first outing. They obviously want to put the best of the best up there.
Yeah. So
all right, you don't stick you on for kata, is what I'm saying, right? No. So
have you not seen Mahi Sandan?
Yes, I have.
I've
it's a fourth grand man. I don't know.
Excuse me. I paid for it. That's
well, that's for another podcast. Yeah, but obviously the UK didn't get in, right? So Team GB had no karate athletes going across, and I felt so bad for them, right? Because I feel that they attempted to do it one hand tied behind their back. Obviously they were coming from a country that was actually sticking to the regulations regarding training, which will say no more. It was lack of competition building up to it, so they weren't as sharp as they would normally have been.
Yeah.
And also a gross underfunding.
Yeah, I know how you're going to kind of come on that. You've got a kind of
I've got it here. So now I get why UK sport wouldn't want to throw millions at them for a sport that's just going in for the first time. I totally get that, right? I don't expect them to come at it with the same kind of funding as elite sports. Sports have been in the Olympics for years.
Yeah,
but I'll give you some ideas, right? Now, I'm not saying these guys don't deserve the funding they're getting, but it gives you an idea where they're messing out. The karate is not even on the list of the funding.
I guess it's not a permanent sport, so it wouldn't have been.
So it's not even on the list. So the athletes that attempted to do that, I know they partnered up with British Taekwondo to go through their training camps and stuff, but it's two different sports. We definitely saw that at the Olympics. Two different sports. Okay? But it's great that they had that access and were part of the Team GB setup, right? But moving on. Archery doesn't get much. He gets £1 million, just over £1 million. Athletics, 23 million. Badminton is under $1 million.
Is it that, sorry to interrupt, there's athletics as though, is that split up? There's so many sports for athletics.
Yeah. That covers a lot. So that is, you would expect that to be big. So I've no, as I say, I'm not saying on merit there's any issues with these.
Yeah.
Now, in fairness, archery put $1 million in, 0 medals. Athletics, 23 million, 6 medals. Badminton, just under 1 million, 0 medals. 12 million into boxing, 6 medals. Canoeing, 16,344,000, 2 medals. Cycling, 24.5 million, 12 medals. Diving, 7 million, 3 medals. Equestrian, 12.5 million, 5 medals. Fencing, 342,000, 0 medals. Gymnastics, 13 million, 3 medals. Hockey, 12 million, 1 medal.
Okay. As well, I think.
Judo, 6.5 million, 1 medal. Modern pentathlon, 5.5 million, 2 medals. Rowing, £24.5 million for 2 medals. Now I'm going to come back to what I'm thinking here, all right? I'm going to get myself on the bother. Sailing, 22 million, 5 medals. Shooting, 6 million, 1 medal.
Say that again, sorry, you kind of broke up there.
Shooting, 6 million for 1 medal. Skateboarding, 197,000 for a medal, right? So they're bang for your buck, right? Skateboarding, some bang for your buck. Wait, but skateboarding was just an intro sport, was it as well? Was that improperly?
No, it was an intro sport. That was one of the. I think each host country can choose up to 5, if I'm right.
Yeah, sport climbing, just over 500,000. Swimming.
That was another intro sport as well.
Yeah, 18,731,000, 8 medals. Table tennis, 325,000, 0. Taekwondo, 8,223,805, 223,805 £3 medals. Triathlon, 7 million, 3 medals. Weightlifting, just under 250,000, 1 medal. So, I'm sorry, but these are elite sports, right? Okay, let me go for cycling, which has millions in it, right? 24 million cycling has in it. Equestrian has 12 million. That's an elite sport. Rowing, as elite as it gets, I'm sorry, but it is. 24.5 million for 2 medals. Sailing, an elite sport, 22 million for 5 medals. So that's the funding that's out there. How the hell, with that kind of backing and that level of success, because some of them are getting like nothing for that kind of millions of pounds being poured out.
Yeah.
Who the hell was British karate supposed to step up?
No, I agree. I think it's just, from kind of in the past, there's some countries and people we've competed a lot, kind of in a lot of different countries, kind of made really good friends with some people. And karate is part of some countries' PE. One of those guys teaches karate. He's a PE teacher in schools. So obviously, and then I think as well some of the countries, if you get a medal, you're rewarded. You get money. I think there's one of the Philippine boxers, is that right? She got a house as well for winning a medal. So with the British karate,
our guys are putting their hand in their own pocket every time.
Yeah.
Every championships they go to, I have to say the federations are skin. Like the NGBs are not backing these elite athletes. They're not giving them money they should do. The Sport Scotland, Sport England, Sport Wales are not backing these athletes when they're going to major events. Whether it be Series A's or whatever. They're just not, there's no funding going to them at all. So these guys they're holding down jobs, they're getting sponsorship, they're putting football cards around their pals to raise enough money to go to a tournament. Are you serious?
I know.
But you can spend, what was the sailing again?
20 million, 12 million.
22.5 million for sailing. Yeah, I mean, I'm at a loss.
I think that's just kind of based on the medals that they've had in the past, to be honest. I know.
I get that, but surely we've got good athletes in this country.
Yeah.
They deserve better backing.
I think that all kind of ties, in my opinion, I think that ties into karate not being a permanent sport as well. As you say, you can't. You said you can't ask them to, but it needs to start somewhere though, as
But
well.
mate, if you can give, I mean, you can put something to it. Surely to God, you can put something to it. I mean,
Yeah.
is being an Olympic sport the only way you get funding? I don't think so. Is that the only way there's any money put into your sport? So
I just think again, I think it's to do with karate being so splintered.
well, that's true.
I'm not saying, and I know there was some comments and some very good comments out there regarding like there's more than one governing body for boxing. There's more than one governing body for all these other sports that were part of the Olympics. But I think obviously that's just kind of on the same boat as these other ones. As you said, if you want to take part in the Olympics, you need to be part of that governing body, that association that's recognised by the IOC. But and again, I think obviously British karate is so splintered.
Well, karate is so splintered. I mean, I don't think, unless of France and Spain, etc., they don't have these this kind of problems. That is why I was talking to somebody last week, and they were like, well, these federations are really strong because they're not splintered. They're not all battling each other and arguing and fighting over wee bit scraps at the table. They're all just behind it. Let's go. Let's make it the best we can be.
Yeah.
And I get the traditional and sport argument because I've always kind of had a foot in both camps. All right. I've always had a foot in both camps. I grew up doing traditional. I grew up listening to my instructors. I remember when people started wearing shin pads. Mate, it was the end of civilization as we knew it. It was the end of karate as an entity.
It was the cotton.
Was it cotton shin pads, mate? Right. So, yes. And I'm like, but every generation moans about the evolution of the next generation. That's just what we do, right? So that's what keeps old guys alive like me. But I just find it a bit. They're not enough forward thinking and forward planning for me. I get the argument regarding some people, and again, I'm maybe kind of going off point. Mm-hmm. You're going back to the point of being splintered, and it comes to different perspectives of what martial arts and karate is.
Yeah,
karate is different things to different people. You ask 10 people in the room why they joined, and I'll all give you a different answer. Yeah, you put 10 karate instructors in the room, you can't get them to agree on what a bloody front stance is. Yeah. Okay. But we all love what we do. We all want it to survive. We all want the next generation to get the benefits from it that we got from it. Karate has been an amazing thing in my life. Right? Yeah. I absolutely can't even tell you the difference it's made to my life. Personally and obviously professionally later on, but it's and the more we bicker, the more we put people off and push people away.
Do you think karate being so splintered is related to how many people are actually doing it?
No,
because it's such a.
I think it's always down to one thing: money. Everybody wants to be the boss.
Yeah.
Everybody wants to be the chief instructor of an association or a federation. Mate, they do. It's usually the ones that don't bloody train as well.
Not me.
It's usually the ones with the blazer and the gi that's pristine white and the belt that doesn't fold tie right because they've never had the damn thing on. My bitchy tablets today.
Glad you pressed record.
I'm glad I did. Well, please tell me I didn't. This is just as normally bitching, and it's run by those people.
Yeah.
And it's all about cash. And don't get me wrong, federations need money. Right, associations need money. If you want a professional association to run well, you need to invest in it. All right, I can't go these people that say I've got 6 students and I've only licensed 6 students and they get 400 in the back cupboard. Can't stand people like that because then they go, oh, we're not getting anything from them because they're skint, you roaster. I can't stand. There's loads of things I can't stand, but I was going on another tangent there.
If anybody's ever watched the programme Afterlife, you sound like Ricky Gervais. But no, you're completely right, and I do agree with most of your points. It's not, and it's.
It's about money. It's always about money.
Yeah.
When there's money to be made, there's people that will. There's people that will try and control it.
Yeah.
And I don't have a problem with that insofar as long as you're doing the right thing for your members. I don't grudge anybody making a buck. I do this for a living. I don't grudge anybody. I don't grudge you make money. I don't grudge. Well, maybe the taekwondo guy in the corner, but everybody else I've got issues with. but I don't. But you got to do it right. You got to do it for the right reason.
Yeah. No, I agree. I completely agree, mate. I don't. So this has been positive.
Has it?
No, it's been good. It's been good to come back. Obviously, kind of having this chat again. Although we chat every day, like, but you know what I mean.
Yeah, but it's usually even worse nonsense than this. So, do you think it will get back in?
I hope so. I thought, from a karate point of view, from kind of instructor and somebody who loves karate, I thought they'd done a good job. I wasn't expecting. I was worried that it could have went way worse. I'm a bit gutted, obviously, the way the last fight, the very last part, the very last thing you see of karate in the Olympics was controversy. I don't think that was anybody's fault. You know, it's not. It's just the way it worked out. As you say, it's kind of a product of a few
things. It's been politicised like hell, though, isn't it?
So bad. Did you see the Karate Combat Facebook page?
Oh, don't I think. Oh, what is that?
So the Karate Combat shared a post.
I know what Karate Combat is. I that's not what I meant.
Yeah, they shared a post. For those who don't know, Karate Combat shared a post and saying, what is it, in this karate, if you get a knockout here, you don't get a gold medal or something. It was along those lines.
You don't get disqualified. I mean, it's don't get me wrong, I've seen some cracking memes where you've got the silver medalist, the bronze medalist, the gold medalist is lying unconscious on the podium. So it's hard not to chuckle, right?
Oh, I know.
I totally get it. I mean, it wasn't a great advert at the end, to be honest, but that's the rules.
Yeah, no, I don't think the judge done anything wrong. I don't think the competitors done anything wrong. You know, I don't think, not on purpose anyway. You know, they was just a bit gutted. Obviously, that was his kind of Olympic dream gave up by an accident, but that's the way you do. You know, you hear, it happens all the time. Obviously, it's karate at the end of the day.
There's decisions, there's contentious decisions in every sport at every time. And just as you say, if that had happened the day before in the mid round,
yeah, it wouldn't have been. It was just because it was the last thing you seen of karate.
It was a medal-winning event, yeah, and it's also being that particular situation has been politicised by others. That benefits them to politicise it. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So it's like, oh, look at that. That's a joke. And it's like, right, dude. I mean, you've got the exact same stuff goes on in your sport and your rule set. Don't make it sound like it's any different. We've all seen YouTube. All right, we're on YouTube. I see stuff and I'm like, really? It's just nobody's. I don't think anybody's got it quite right yet.
No. At the end of the day, the referees are human, you know. But to kind of touching on the referees being human, I really enjoyed the video reviews. I thought some of the shouts by the coaches were incredible. You know, some of the fights were 0 seconds left, and the coach flashes up the video review card and scores a point, and their competitor wins the fight because of it. You know, I thought it was good because it kind of takes that element out from the judges and the referees as well. You know, obviously you can't see everything, especially when they're moving that fast. You know, one of the commentators, obviously one of the commentators was a karateka and the other one wasn't, and she was just super impressed by the speed. She's like, I would hate to be a judge or a referee trying to judge this. You know, they're so fast. So the video review, I really enjoyed the video because it adds a bit of tension to it. You know, obviously you're like, oh, and then yay!
Ooh, yeah, I think so too. The one thing I don't like is a point given when the person, like, so far I'm throwing an Urmelash, which I have been known to do, and then I fall over as I'm doing it. That kind of stuff winds me up. I don't think that should be allowed to score. I don't like that kind of scoring. I think cheapens what we do.
So do you mean if somebody tries to do a hook, wash or a hook kick and then misses and I am coming in and you fall over?
No, you see it, they kind of sacrifice, they kind of throw the leg up, knowing they're going straight to the ground.
Yeah.
Still get a point for it. And I can't go that because that's totally against what I was taught, you know what I mean? So
to be fair, I kind of touching on that. I've seen a lot of them trying to score that hook kick and it kind of not going across and the opponent almost kind of charging in and then scoring an up on because the person's on the ground. Because
I saw a lot of them charging in and the new defence against Urmelash
Yes. I need to remember that for a few weeks' time.
I just remember this. I was like, what the?
No, I loved it. Obviously, I really enjoyed it. I can't. Obviously, there is a few negatives, and as I said, the last kind of fight was a little bit kind of disappointing in terms of what happened. But I thought karate as an Olympic sport looked fantastic. They looked great.
Do you think the WKF will go on as it is? You don't think anybody? Because I think there's going to be a shifting in the sand over the next year or two.
I think that would, unfortunately, obviously, because karate's not in Paris. So then, we're having an Olympics. Obviously, it's kind of a little bit higher than the WKF World Championships and stuff. Then you're almost, so the competitors need to come back down again and compete for the WKF World Championships with no guarantee that the Olympics is in sight again. So what do you tee up for as an association like that? You know, I'm not saying the WKF World Championships is any less, but I'm just meaning.
Well, it is. If you're doing it as an amateur sport, and it's the Olympics is the pinnacle of the sporting side of karate, like it or loathe it.
Yeah,
it was, and I think they need to do everything they can to get it back. But that might mean, for the sake of the IOC, they might have to eat some humble pie and let some other world federations in under the WKF to unify it.
I don't know. I don't see a problem with it. Just why can everybody not just get in a room and have a pint and just agree? Do you know what I mean? I know. I'll pay for the rounds then. I'll pay for the fights.
Not the money for the rounds, mate. The revenue created from running a federation.
Oh, I know.
Nobody wants to give up their job. Nobody wants to give up their side of it for the greater good. Everybody wants for the greater good until it hits your pocket. That's the problem.
Yeah, no. Again, I guess we could talk about it forever on that subject. Do you know what I mean? At the end of the day, but I don't know. I honestly don't know. I hope it. I honestly don't. I don't understand it.
Sure.
I don't understand. I do obviously get that you're talking about money. It's just at the end of the day, everybody needs to think what they're doing it for. I mean, is it for the good of karate or is it just for themselves? And if they're doing it for themselves,
that's exactly how
they need to do. If they want karate in the Olympics, they need to merge. They need to. Somebody needs to go. Do you know what? Okay. So I think me and you have to just go in there and chap some doors and just.
But nobody watches this. Do you think they're going to listen to us? Like, there's nobody watching this, mate. They quit like an hour ago. They went, that old boy's lost the plot. He's having a man. He's off his meds.
Who's wheeled him out back?
Is he okay?
Yeah.
Where's Mark?
Mark's just clicked and realised. He's like, no. Mark, come back.
Please, Mark. We miss you, Mark. We love you.
You don't need a day job, Mark. It's fine.
Yeah, so I mean, it's as you say, it was a positive experience. I thought it was good. I thought some bits needed a bit of work, but it's a first foray in, and there's a lot of pressure on them from those within the WKF and those outside, just waiting for the failure. Waiting for it to burst into flames, and so I think they handled it quite well. So will it come back in? I genuinely don't know. I think 8 years is a long time. 8 years is a long time. Well, 7 years, pardon me. Yeah, I forget what year.
I think they'll decide what is it. Is it just after the next Olympics in 2024? They'll make a decision on the new sports. Is that right? Is that what happens?
I think it's before that. It's before that. Yeah.
They'll
basically they do a kind of after this. They'll have a kind of meeting afterwards to see how it all went. WKF will obviously try to do their best to push their case. Yeah, as you would expect. And hopefully they get a positive result out of it. But the smashed faces, that Italian girl got her face ripped off. Somebody got their arm broken, didn't they?
It was Jonathan Horn, I think, was injured. I think he fell over. Was that right?
Yeah, so he broke his arm, and somebody get knocked out. It's not usually the Olympic for us. That's like one tournament. So
for us, that was Germany.
Yeah, well, or Vietnam. But it was. But it's not really the Olympic ideal.
No. I guess if kids were watching it, I thought the control was obviously. I think they were pretty sharp on the control aspect in terms of points. I thought
it's a contact sport. At the end of the day, it's a contact sport. Whether it's feet and fists are flying and people are flying into each other. It's a contact sport. There's injuries are inevitable.
Yeah, no, definitely.
I don't know. I mean, I say this in my kids' class. I'll go, right, so you get kids that are terrified of doing community, and I'll go, right, who's injured himself playing football? And hands go up. Who's injured himself doing this? Hands go up. Who's injured themselves in here? No hands up. Pull yourselves together. Do you know what I mean? But if you're doing a sport, there's inevitably a chance of injury.
No,
that's the chance the athlete takes.
Especially when they're moving that fast, you know.
When you know, I've never moved that fast in my life. So what's next?
Podcast for me.
So is this our last ever the Karate podcast? Because Mark's left us, he's ditched us.
Leave him alone. He's a busy man.
He's not busy.
He is busy. Leave him alone.
All right.
Mark, we love you. Come back.
No, Mark, you're ditched. We want a new presenter in.
Who are we going to get in then? Who?
Somebody who's prepared to argue with my nonsense.
I'll argue if you want. I'll just not be nice next time. We had obviously we took a wee break there. Kind of clubs were getting busy, summer holidays and stuff as well, you know. So I think we'll come back again in a few weeks. We'll go back and we'll get a new set of guests lined up, and I'm sure we'll find some more controversial topics to talk about.
People to annoy and irritate. Right, great. Well, it's been nice to be back, mate. It's nice to catch up.
Yeah,
with the famous yellow background.
I was just about to say that. I agree.
I get a wee chat and a discussion. I hope people out there weren't too bored with my rantings. And
I think it was ranting. I've heard you rant, and that's not your best.
No, I do edit myself when I'm on this. I'm aware of litigation.
Yes. I don't know what that means. No, I'm joking.
Lawyers, dude. Lawyers suing me. But it's been great to catch up again, mate. Thank you, as always, for being the partner in crime that you are.
Yes.
Don't let me down like some other people.
You're a bad man.
All right, guys. Right, so we will be back very shortly with our next episode. We'll get back to our chats with the guests and just the world of karate and what's coming up. There's lots of things going on in the background, controversial things going on. Associations having issues, all sorts of drama to discuss, which I'm sure. Sean's like, don't say anything. So don't say anything, Liam. And we'll get those kind of discussed over the next coming months. And just the usual hilarity. If you'd like to get involved, let it pop on, have a chat. Don't be shy. Come on, please. Don't make me talk to him all the time. I'm sorry. Join Sean and I and Mark if he ever comes back on the Karate podcast. And I hope you're all enjoying me back to training. Keep it up. We'll see you soon.
Yes. Same.
Yes. Oh, is it me? All right, guys. Take care.
Thanks very much, guys. Bye-bye.
Take care.